Quiet down and listen up. Tony is talking.
Hey everybody, Tony Katz here. Thanks for watching this episode of Tony is Talking. In Oklahoma on Election Day, a little law got passed, voted on by 70% of the people. And this law states that when a judge is adjudicating a case, they cannot use international or Islamic law. We'll call it Sharia law. 70% of the people voted for this. Well, CAIR, the Council of American Islamic Relations, filed for and received an injunction against this law, preventing it from going into effect until a judge has the time to review it. Now let's understand what we're talking about. We're talking about a law, it's kind of like SB 1070. It's a law to remind you that there's a law. We don't follow international law in American courts, and we don't follow Islamic law in American courts. But there was a case in New Jersey where Islamic law was set as precedent when dealing with a Muslim defendant. So the people of Oklahoma decided that they would make sure that every judge there knows that when you're dealing with a court case, you can only use the law on the books. You can't use international law, and you can't use Islamic law. But CAIR, the Council of American Islamic Relations, has decided that this is patently anti-Muslim. Not sure how yet. To remind courts that they can't use international law or Islamic law is not patently anti-Muslim. It is patently crazy. The idea that we would have to remind judges that we don't use international law or Islamic law, we use the law on the books and we follow the Constitution, that's a little bit beyond me. But sure enough, in this America, you actually have to remind people that we follow the laws that are already laws. It's like SB 1070. A law created, SB 1070, the Arizona immigration law, SB 1070 is a law that reminds you that there's already a law and that the people of Arizona want the law enforcement officials to follow the law that is already a law. Wow, that's a tongue twister and a half. So CAIR sues, CAIR gets this injunction, and then the people of Think Progress, who have never really thought too much at all, come out with this headline, and I'm reading here from Think Progress. Sharia Hysteria comes to Oklahoma. Voters approve Sharia law ban. There's no such thing as Sharia hysteria. Sharia law is awful. It is horrible. It is oppressive. And you, no matter who you are, wouldn't live under Sharia if you had the choice for 15 seconds. And there is no woman in her right mind who would live under Sharia for 5 seconds. It is not Sharia hysteria when you see American judges looking at Islamic law to figure out their cases. That's not Sharia hysteria. It is not Sharia hysteria when you see what is happening in the United Kingdom and in France. That is not Sharia hysteria. It is not Sharia hysteria when you see what happens in Iran. That is not Sharia hysteria. The hysteria comes from the left that refuses to use the 2 eyes in their head, the 2 ears in their head, and the lump of gray matter in between. When you live a life where you simply refuse to think, you simply refuse to take a look at the proof in front of you and deduce what is happening, when you purposefully fail to live a life where you use your mind, everything's hysteria. Everything is hysteria to the leftist when it's not part of what they're told to believe. But for the rest of us, we know quite well, Sharia and thinking about Sharia and talking about Sharia, that's not hysteria. However, letting Sharia into our lives is just crazy.
Listen to the Tony Katz Radio Spectacular Monday through Friday on the All Patriots Media Network. allpatriotsmedia.com.